Welcome to our oop, welcome to our presentation. I am Christina with Lush Experiences, and I am so happy to have with us today our wonderful Natalia. You don't need to know her by any other name. She's on a first name basis, like Madonna. Just Natalia, with Villa d'Este and Villa La Massa, two of our crown jewels in Italy. I am sure many of you out there are familiar with the hotels, but I know that Natalia is going to share a lot of information with us today, and I think everyone will walk away learning something new. In addition, she's got some great news and promotions to share with us as well. We love doing these, and we're so grateful that you've joined us today. We will be doing a Q&A at the end, so please feel free to throw any questions or comments you have in the Q&A box at the bottom, and I'll be here to facilitate. I will run through the questions at the end, but I want to let Natalia just take it away and introduce us to these two properties.
Thank you
Natalia,
so much, Christina.
of
Thank you.
course.
This is a lovely introduction. I love that. Natalia, like Madonna. I'm loving it. I'm going to rock this now for
You're
you.
in the presence of a celebrity.
Thank you so much. So this is great. Thank you so much, whoever is live with us. And then, a lot of you are supporting us. You are wonderful ambassadors for both of our properties. I'm going to give you a bit of a nutshell today for both hotels. And I'll start with Villa La Massa, our sister property in Florence. It is about 14 minutes drive away from the actual Ponte Vecchio. So I'm going to do a little bit of a nutshell first for that property, and then we're going to leave the questions towards the end of that. There is a lot of news. There is a lot of happenings as well, for that property. Just to remind you, because a lot of you are very familiar with it. And, we do need a little help with the property because it is a hidden jewel. A lot of you are doing a fantastic job for us. So thank you so much for this. I mean, it's a beautiful, stunning property just on the River Arno, 14 minutes drive away from Ponte Vecchio. We actually offer the courtesy car, the service, which is complimentary service that literally takes you. We included even a little map here, 14 minutes drive away, from the city center to the outskirts of Florence. That's where Villa La Massa is located. So we call it a bit funky those days, a bit of an urban resort, because you can give both to your clients. They're gonna, they stay literally 2 minutes away from Florence, so down the block really, but at the same time you can give them so much more in terms of their stay too, so a great service for the actual shuttle service. The property is a historical building, so it's 13th century house which was built for a very rich Florentine family and then evolved through years. So there is a lot of bits and pieces, which are very, very captivating in terms of the history about the property. Every single building, because we're talking about 54 keys, so a small property, fantastic service, by the way, with a general manager who's a lady, Elisa Peroli. She's doing a fantastic job. If you look up all of our reviews, for the past 2 years that she took over this property, the service is stunning and there is not a single bad review. So this is how well we look after your clients. In terms of the hotel itself, so it's 6 buildings altogether. Each building had a different purpose back in the days. So the main villa, very sophisticated, as you can see it, so originally built for the family who was running that land as well. It was a bit of a house, to be away from the city center, because those people, they knew back in the days that it was very hot in Florence. It can be pretty overwhelming during the summertime. So, going outside, to be on a little bit more on the outskirts, it was giving them a little bit more freshness, and being on the River Arno gives you that too. The property, we completed the renovation in 2019. So just look at that stunning property, beautiful product itself, private villas on property as well. We're looking at the Casa Colonica over here, just to give you an idea, 4-bedroom villa. Some of you already booked it for this year for multi-generational families, which works fantastic with a little courtyard, private kitchen. But just look at the interior design. I mean, there is a contemporary touch in here, but the textures, the fabrics, the original floor, the original ceiling. This is something that it's truly special. I mean, in terms of the service and in terms of the product, you're really giving the best to your clients. So and of course, we pamper your guests. so very well. So they really feel like they, home away from home. And again, this is a bit of a nutshell to remind you about the property. A lot of you are very well aware of the property, and I can guarantee you, whoever sold Villa La Massa out of whoever is joining us today, I know that you keep rebooking it. So the clients, they keep asking for that property. This is how special it is. And this is the best testimonial to that property. Look at the view of the Arno, which is stunning. Two restaurants, the actual Verrocchio restaurant, a little bit more special formal, and the Olivetto, which is a little bit easier food, a little bit more casual by the pool. Fantastic bar. We specializing here in the digestives. Just so that was considered a medicine back in the days, because it was good for you to have a bit of a stronger drink after you ate a fantastic dinner, so it would help to digest that dinner. And I always say, drink responsibly, but this bar is specializing, particularly in digestives. So take it for your consideration. A beautiful wine cellar in case somebody is into wines. But this is the selling point, the pool. The pool. This is the place that you want to put your family and your clients. Imagine you have a family with teenagers. I mean, you really want to give them a little bit of a pool, right? When it's going to be a pouring hot weather in Florence during the summer, it's extremely important, because we have to make sure those teenagers are happy. They just not staying in the queues, enjoying the museums. They also want to have a bit of a fun, and not many hotels in Florence, they can facilitate that. So this is definitely that thing that you want to consider. Of course, it's a five-star hotel. It's a virtuoso we signature we select. We at the same time, a hotel, a leading hotel. Okay, so we do have a fantastic gym 24/7, beauty center where we do beauty treatments. The view and the grounds are spectacular, as you can see. So if you can have a little bit of that while you enjoying the city center, this is, it's a haven. It's a special place. It is, truly is. And then at the same time, we can arrange pretty much anything for them. I mean, just look at that picture over here, which is the actual dinner that we arranged last minute for the client. They just wanted a special dinner in the garden. Very, very savage, but beautiful. So this is what you can do. Sky is the limit at Villa La Massa. Cooking classes, just bear in mind, there is a lot of expensive cooking lessons, classes, chefs in Florence. You can have a bit of a fun experience if you have a family, or even like a mother-daughter thing that we see a lot with our chefs. They are really fun. If you have smaller kids, why don't you let them have like a focaccia making or pizza making, and they can eat what they bake, get dirty a little bit, but if you want something super sophisticated, we can arrange that as well. So, we really, we're very flexible on that property. Now, for the car lovers, Villa La Massa Excellence is a specific event that we run in October. If you clients, they particularly in love with the cars, which are young timers. They call them young timers, which are from like 2000 and onwards cars, but not the newest cars, but they still beautiful. This is the event dedicated to this type of cars. We dedicating the entire event. It's a type of a conqueror as well. So the best car will be, will win at the end of the weekend. I can give you a little bit more details about it, but in case you've got this car lovers type of a client, keep it in mind. Let me know, and I can give you a little bit more information. Now, in Villa La Massa, we always need a little bit of a help because it's a sister property to Villa d'Este, so it's not so well known. But at the same time, it offers you a fantastic product and a wonderful service, which is a bit of an extension of Villa d'Este. Not so formal, a bit more informal, but the same owners. They do treat Villa La Massa a bit like a country house, for themselves as well. So this is how you can see it in case you would like to combine Villa d'Este stay with a little Toscan experience as well for your clients. We have fantastic promotions. We run some different dates for the wine dinners. If you have wine lovers, let me know. We can arrange something for them. We definitely running a specific events, dedicated to wine because we are in Tuscany. So of course it would be a shame not to do it. We have a great promotion called Prepay and Save, which gives you 25% off It is a prepaid offer, you know, but it is starting from junior suites, and it's a very, very interesting one. In case you have somebody that you know they coming, you know, they have their Italian vacation and they would want a little bit, you know, maybe higher category, so you can definitely give them that saving, or they stay 3 nights and pay for two, which is very interesting. It's still available for this summer, so let us know. In terms of the property of Villa La Massa, you know, the key points, and just to, you know, to give you a couple of giveaways, the property is a fantastic sale for their regular clients. So whoever stayed there, they will return and they keep coming back. For somebody who is the very first timer to Florence, it might be a little bit difficult because, you know, advisors that, you know, you're doing your job great, but sometimes the clients, they think like they know better than you. So they just like, I want to be in central Florence. And sometimes they just don't realize that there are some challenges with it, you know, the heat, the fact that it's very busy, the fact that if you have teenage kids with you, it might be hard to keep them happy, you know, being in that busy city. You know, just take it all into consideration when you know, when you actually thinking about Tuscany and in general about Florence. I think it would be a wonderful and very charming, you know, solution for your clients. This is a little bit in a nutshell about Villa La Massa. If there are some questions about it at that stage, or shall we keep the questions for both properties to the end,
You're doing
Christina?
such a great job, Natalia. I don't have any questions yet.
I think you all very much, very well aware. You know, I have to say that our advisors, they know really well the property. Lush is doing a great job as well. So, you know, but just in case, if there is any question, you know, towards the end, we can go back to Villa La Massa. I can respond for both properties, no problem. So this is just to kind of, you know, shape it up for Villa La Massa. Keep it in mind, a little sister property, but the extension of Villa d'Este. So remember that this is a deal breaker very often. And I will be taking you to this fabulous, charming Lake Como, which a lot of advisors they're very, very aware of and they're very familiar with. And you know, again, you're doing a fantastic job. We have so many ambassadors for Villa d'Este out there, that it's really shocking. You know, I mean, there are people they booking us since 30 years, and I feel sometimes like they know a little bit more than me, especially from the time before. You know, in a way, there is also a lot to tell you about Villa d'Este. So let me just recap very quickly for whoever is maybe, you know, heard for the first time about the property, or you want a little refresher about it. So Villa d'Este, 400 years old private villa, built as the house of a priest, a house of a cardinal. So very important house on the lake, very important villa. It became a luxury hotel 153 years ago. So not many establishments like that, you know, in general in Europe. It's very important which side of the lake you on. So, you know, if you ever met with me, or you probably, if you met with Christina or with Lush member, we always stressed how important it is which side on the lake you're on, because you're giving a, you know, different experience, you know. So it's important that you're on a sunny side. It's important that you're on a side where all the establishments are. So this is where Villa d'Este is located. This is the most desirable part of the lake as well, just so you know. And we also very lucky because we have a huge extensive land. Now, because it is a private villa, historical villa, we have loads of access to the shore. So, you know, look at this. This is all privatized shore of Villa d'Este that nobody has got access to, just your client. It's very safe as well. If you have you know, a family, you know, you have kids, you definitely don't want to have a busy road that you have to cross, you know, in order to go to pool or to the lake. This exclusivity has got a name. It's called Villa d'Este, the old dam. So it is ultimately the place on the lake. There are beautiful hotels out there. I know you might have preferences, you know, but just keep in mind that, of course, it's a very important piece of history. And if you want to give your clients the true, like a proper experience on the lake, this is probably the place to consider. I know you're going to probably say, hey, Natalia, you don't have much availability. You would not be very wrong, you know, because it's very busy. I have to say there has been a little explosion on bookings for June, very last minute, loads of, you know, loads of bookings. a little crazy time, but of course, you know, we're doing well. Let me know, because sometimes we can do miracles. You would be surprised, you know. Sometimes I might just, you know, find a room for you, you know. So do let us know. Do let know Lush, and they can put you with the right person in case you can't find my details in your inbox. It's two buildings, so it's important to understand that Villa d'Este is the original house and the Queen's Pavilion. 124 rooms and 27 rooms. Now you'll be delighted to know I'm giving you a little bit anteprima here, okay? So please don't quote me, because I might deny it. It's not in writing. But we are starting a very important process of renovation. So we just literally redone from scratch a suite and one bedroom, executive room, and a suite garden view, which is very particular. I don't have the pictures yet for you guys to share, but I will be sharing that very shortly. They're beautiful. You know, it's something else, but very classical. So as you can see, we're not going to go far from this kind of a feel that you're seeing here. Marble bathrooms, but larger, you know, like a newest technology. And the idea is that as soon as we have approval from our owners, we're just going to start the process of renovation, probably about 20 rooms every year. So then we can manage it very nicely, because we already did manage this kind of refurbishment by closing an entire small, tiny wing and the floor. And the guests didn't even know about it, what was happening. So just so you know, this is exciting for everybody, and I'll keep you posted on it. But just so you know, we're also doing a great job in keeping updated the property. So if you feel that somebody told you that back in the days, maybe we are too old, or you know, we haven't refurbished, well, it's not really truth, because look at this, it looks very fresh. I mean, we maintain to perfection the property. We try to keep it as fresh, as clean as possible. There is a little tiny bit of a reference to the red, but there is a reason for it. The red color is the color of cardinal, so you know, the top suites, you know, they do recall a little bit of that, you know. Now just have a look at the new beds. By the way, a fun fact, if you didn't know that, Villa d'Este was built as a twin-bedded hotel. So husband and wife didn't sleep together back in the days, which is so interesting because, you know, and I don't know, I mean, it wasn't that long time ago, really, which seems like a very interesting solution, you know, for the marriages. But we do have a lot of twins, just in case. We're keeping some, and we're changing some rooms to the, obviously, to the original kings, you know, just so you know. We have private villas, beautiful villas on the lake, so alone standing houses. 4 of those are available. We're shortly going to have another private villa. We just started a renovation of Villa Belenzaghi. Used to be, it's next to Villa d'Este. So whenever, you know, you're coming on the lake or you're passing by, please come and, you know, have a site inspection. Shoot me an email, shoot an email to Christina or to somebody, you know, who's managing, you know, your account from Lush, and they can arrange it. You know, we're very flexible. We always try to showcase the property. We're looking at the 6-bedroom villa as well. We're doing very well with the villas this year. So I think this villa product is, you know, it's always there and it's always requested. Classical style, as you can see, this is particular one, Villa Malakoff, in the name of a Napoleonic general, you know, very particular. You can see a bit of a lake as well. So, you know, you can see there is a lot of vegetation, but it's a good thing. You know, you want to have those trees and you want to have this vegetation, which is extremely important because, you know that on the lake we have a microclimate. So while you are in a polluted Milano doing your little shopping, come on a lake and actually breathe a very, very good quality air, because back in the days, that was the place where people would enjoy and they would, you know, want to rest and relax, maybe if they were not well. We're looking at the beautiful garden, so nothing has changed here. You'll be delighted to know that the monument still stands, you know, and it stands very strongly, a national monument since 1913. Beautiful opening to the gate, to the gardens. It's actually considered English/Italian gardens, just so you know, so very particular. They can survive. These green, beautiful gardens, they can survive because we do have the microclimate that the lake provides for us, which is Mediterranean climate without Mediterranean Sea. Loads of options for the food and beverage. 3 restaurants. La Veranda needs a jacket. Just remember that. Lunch, there is also a dress code with the long trousers and closed shoes. So no flip-flop, no Bermudas there. And this is all to keep it very classy. 1 restaurant is very formal, and that's La Veranda. Grill is a little bit more, you know, casual. Grill by all means. Mediterranean fish and grilled meat, not a barbecue, but it's still very fine dining. Platano is a fantastic option, which is, you know, a very interesting twist of Italian cuisine with a Japanese cuisine. We have a great chef who studied for many years Japanese cuisine, and the feedback from our Asian clients is just fantastic. So this is just to break your pasta. If you stay in a couple of weeks in Italy, you know, maybe you need a break for one evening and you want to try that, so we can provide it. Sandek is one of our bars, a little bit easy eating, you know, catering for the guests. They are enjoying the beautiful and the only, you know, the only, not the only, but the most fantastic and the very first one, floating pool on the lake. We're looking at the Bar Canova, just so you know, if you take a picture of this carpet, you don't even have to tag us. Everybody knows where you are. So if you're famous or if you have famous clients, let them know this. This is important because everybody's going to know where they are if they're posting and they're not tagging. The floating pool, very first ever made on a lake, just to remind you, back in the 60s. So now everybody has it, but we have the best one and the biggest one. And there is a little jacuzzi in there. And there is a small, tiny, well, not so tiny, but a little pool for the kids. Fun fact, an interesting one. We do have a kids club. Do remember that. We do really appreciate the kids because those are our future clients. As you know, the ratio of our repeat clients and generations after generations coming to Villa d'Este, they're very important to us. So June, July, and August, we having this fantastic, fabulous option for the kids. So, you know, hey, food for thought in case you've got this type of a client. Sporting center with an indoor pool, 8 tennis courts, and a beautiful beauty center for the treatments. Sky is the limit. You want to give a boat tour to your clients because this is what they want when they literally coming on the lake. We can arrange pretty much anything, as you know. But you know, I just wanted to let you know that we're also getting into the summer gala nights. So the 4th of July, the 14th of July, those two summer parties, they shortly, the 4th of July is already open for the public to, you know, to buy the gala dinner. Our clients of the house, they have priority. So soon we're probably going to contact you if you do have a client staying with us, then we're going to ask you, do they want to attend the gala dinner or they're going to be dining outside or they want to dine in, you know, another option. So just so you know, those are very famous and very popular, especially the 4th of July, which is a fantastic, you know, offering for the American clients. And it's a little bit to say like, hey, thank you for coming to Lake Como and, you know, for years and years and years. Hey, here, this is the, you know, gala dinner dedicated to the American Independence Day. We also have one for the French, which is the 14th of July, the Bastille Day. There is always a bit of a theme. Last year, the 4th of July was Prohibition. 14th of July was a little bit more Bridgerton theme. And I will be sending you a little follow-up after that so you can see videos. The big show this year is the actual Ocelli live at Villa d'Este. Very prestigious, you know, the very prestigious, very limited with a, you know, with availability. So the Mosaico becomes a natural theater where, you know, where we're going to have this beautiful concert. Just let me know if you're interested in. At the moment, we very much managing the wait list, but, you know, as long as you know the right person, and I'm definitely the right person to come and speak if you need a ticket, just to prioritize, you know, the wait list as well, just so you know. But it's a fantastic occasion, and it's a big name at Villa d'Este, so it's very important for us as the event. Just keep it in mind that, you know, we are the property that is able to manage this type of events, and it's able to, you know, to cater for it at the same time. Just a reminder to everybody, winter season, the Christmas, which is a new thing since 3 seasons. We're going to have the 4th season coming now, and it's coming around very nicely. Let me tell you this. Bookings already coming for Christmas, just so you know. The property looks like a different place. Okay, a beautiful place to be, by the way. Loads of lights, you know, it's a totally different dressing for Villa d'Este. Last year we spent $1.5 million on decorations. We have a chocolate room, 2 greenhouses that we cater obviously for all of our clients. The Friday jazz nights are coming around as well, so live music in the nightclub. We used to have a nightclub. Just for those of you that you didn't know, we actually had a fully operating nightclub 20 years ago. Things have changed. You can't smoke indoor anymore. You know, everybody went outdoor, but we have a beautiful nightclub, by the way. So that's where it takes place. keep in mind, if somebody looks for a different thing for Christmas, Lake Como is the place to be. And yeah, New Year's Eve celebrations just to finish up, the fantastic year, which is going to be this season. And I hope it's the same for you, for all of you. So yeah, that's a little bit in a nutshell for the Villa d'Este. The refurbishment is definitely something big coming. So I think, if there are advisors they are particularly interested in those new rooms, the pictures are going to be coming quite shortly. We arranging that because it's a very busy month to do a shooting, by the way, when you're fully booked. So but I had some not official pictures, so let me know if you have very sensitive clients and they only staying in the new rooms, because that's what we can now offer you. And then there's summer gala parties, let me know if you have somebody interested in. Maybe we can do a bit of a miracle as well if they stay somewhere else. They don't have priority for the ticket, but it's very important who you know, right? So let me know.
I like
Thank
that at the
you.
beginning of the call, Natalia, I cast you as Madonna, and now throughout the call, you've become Willy Wonka with the golden tickets.
My goodness, can you imagine that? Oh
Oh my
God.
goodness. It's I again thank you all so much for joining us. I love working with Natalia, and I know that any of you out there that know her do as well. You're a wonderful presenter, and I said at the beginning that everyone would learn something new, and I did as well. I didn't know that Villa d'Este was built as a twin-bedded hotel.
Shocking.
Yeah,
Apparently, it was the thing. It was the deal. Or two connecting rooms
yeah.
for husband and wife, twin beds, like separated. But maybe that would keep the relationship fresh,
I was gonna
I mean,
say, you hear about some very successful relationships now that do that. I can kind of understand it. Coming
I
from
think
someone
I
with
too,
a
me
snoring
too.
husband, I can understand it.
All type of
Um,
noises, all type of.
well, this is so wonderful. And we did have a few comments and questions come in. Let me go through these really quickly. First one talking about the miracle worker that Natalia is, which indeed I've seen it happen many times. And, I always say to advisors, truly reach out to us, even if you're seeing things sold out. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement in season. I find that a lot of people, if there's availability, they snag rooms for their clients, maybe even without having to confirm dates, and things move. So do reach out
Yeah.
to us, please. And things happen. This advisor is also saying that she has an incredible honeymoon booked later for their stay. So
Okay.
um, please email us. I think you already have, but if you haven't,
Okay.
let us know so we can make sure to put all the pretty finishing touches on the great honeymoon stay. Um, Another one who had clients participate and stay for the Concours d'Elegance,
Oh
um,
my.
which is so exciting. And I was just talking to Natalia. When Worlds Collide, we actually have an advisor in the community whose husband is in the luxury car business and won 2 awards this year at the event. So very cool. Love to see those two meshings of worlds.
My
Um,
goodness, it's such an old money event. You just
yes,
want to be there. I mean, it's just the place to be. So it's shocking. Well done for winning it, honestly.
indeed. Lots of comments of people excited about the renovations. So
Oh,
that's going to be something important and great to watch and keep track of. One question, what are the seasonal closing dates for Villa d'Este?
thank you. This is very good, actually. And this is an amazing question I forgot to tell you. So we both seasonal hotels. For Villa d'Este, what we do, historically, we opening mid to the end of March. So we usually the first ones in the spring to open on the lake. And then we closing on the 7th of January. So just after all the kind of festive celebrations, they finish. We do need to have around 3 months closure to be called a seasonal hotel. So this is what happens. For Villa La Massa, it's a little bit longer to closure. So we opened this year at the beginning of April, and we are closing mid-November, just so you know. So there is a longer closure for that property.
Excellent. Another question, when is the concert? The question
The
everyone
concert,
wants to know, including
yeah, is it?
myself. I want to be there.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be, I think this date is gonna be nuts. And I'll tell you why. This is very interesting. It's the 20th of August. Okay. So the property will be in an exclusive buyout just before that, because we do have a little wedding happening. And what's gonna happen? We already had people who knows that there is this concert, and they asking if they can come by to Villa d'Este by boat just to listen to the music. which is not something that you should be doing, right? So we have to manage that part as well. But we kind of anticipating that all the neighborhood, just so you know, the neighborhood, I'm talking about, not the Clooney's going to come by boat to listen to Bocelli, but there is a lot of other people, like really billionaires, millionaires living on the lake. They have their own boats and they just probably happen to be passing by and stopping and listening to the concert. So we're very well aware that everybody who's around, they're probably going to be able to listen to it, without having a ticket. But the beauty of having a ticket is the whole experience. So 20th of August, you not only having the concert, you coming there, you have a little reception. There are different packages that you can meet and greet, Andrea. And then not for everybody, it's going to be a restricted number. But then after the concert, you have a beautiful dinner, a gala dinner, which is managed by us. And we do this kind of lavish event. So it's an experience itself as well. Very interesting. 20th of August, watch
Oh,
out.
it's exciting. You may see me there bussing tables in disguise with a
Gosh,
little mustache just to
that
get
is true.
myself up on the
That
grounds.
is true. I'm thinking to do a waitressing, for the evening because
Oh,
there's so many volunteers suddenly at Villa d'Este wanting
yeah.
to help that
Oh,
evening,
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'll come. I can help. So it is an experience. I have to say it's a big name. It's also big shoes to fill in for next year. Just so you know, for the following year,
Absolutely.
because we want to follow that kind of, so stay tuned because there's going to be a lot coming.
I love that. I love this next question. I've actually met a lot of advisors in the past who have clients who used to go to the hotel as a kid and they would come year after year. And I love those stories. This advisor is saying she has a client that mentioned that Villa d'Este used to have dances on Friday night. She used to go to the hotel every summer when she's growing up. Is this still a thing?
Well, this is the nightclub. So just so you know, this is because we used to have the literally discotheque back in the days, which was not for everybody. But if you were kind of part of this kind of little establishment in Chernobyl or the lake, those people they know where to go, they were coming for those dances, kind of in the club. But the club was operating fully about 20 years ago. And since Italy was the very first country to ban smoking indoor, that's when this kind of nightclub life went dead because everybody wanted to go outside. We don't have that much of a dancing, but hey, we have always live music. We have actually, I mean, the Maestro Pino is a monster. Like he makes people sing. So there is there are sometimes a couple that would kind of get up during the evening in the bar
Yeah.
and they would have a bit of a
Yeah.
dancing. So, we don't have the actual dancing nights, but everything is doable. Just bear in mind that there is always an entertainment. So if you simply sending somebody from outside, they don't stay at Villa d'Este, but you manage to secure them dinner, they obviously can, have a dinner. They probably gonna hear some music during the dinner because we usually have like a quartet, or a bit of a violin or something, live music during dinner. And then after that, they can move to the bar, and the bar has got a live music, but very high standard, like really lovely. So they can enjoy themselves a little bit, if they want to have a little bit of a, few moves, but like elegant way, I'm talking, they can. Not the Friday dancing, I'm afraid, anymore, but something that we're looking into it. So
I think there's just something magical about Villa d'Este because certainly I've been sitting in the bar and seen people get up and dance, and it's just that environment.
nice way, like nice way. Like you might see people a little bit older, but you might see people also like, our age and, even younger, that they would just get up and just move a little bit, they do these nice moves. Like it's very elegant. Like I have to say, like really a place to be, you know. So yeah. Send them our way. We're not
Yeah,
always
indeed.
accepting the guests from outside, but again, if you know the right people, like we said, you might extend a golden ticket, to get in and find a table, so I'm your person.
I love that. And this advisor is saying this was probably 50 years ago, so more of a big band era.
Here.
Villa d'Este has a beautiful coffee table book. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to look and see if I can see any evidence of that. We'll report back on that as we research a little more.
Yes, please.
Um, but that's it. No more questions. You did such a great job, Natalia. And everyone out there, this was a great turnout today, and we are so grateful. Some of you started your day, some of you are having lunch with us, whatever it may be. Natalia's going to go to bed now, I assume.
I might do
Yes,
actually, but
indeed.
like I said, we on the different time zones as well. So if I'm not available, you've got Christina, you've got somebody from Lush who can help you out. They're very good in highlighting, things to us. If you forget to put me on copy, they will do that, and they will copy other departments as well, just to make it easier for you, for better visibility. Let us know. I love those highlights. Sometimes, if it's not a booking for tomorrow, you will get the response from me, that's for sure. Like I said, it has been a couple of busy, weeks for us. So a lot, everything today for tomorrow, which is very challenging. And I bet all the advisors today who are on the call, you can relate to that. You know how challenging it is when you have somebody who decides to travel last minute and they want everything, boats and everything. So yeah, so this is pretty much what happens on the lake. But if you highlight them to me, even today for September, I will respond to you. I will VIP them. They will get a nice amenity on your behalf, which is with our compliments. We love doing it. You know why? Because you're giving us so much information about them that we can only be grateful for that. And we can make it as smooth as possible. And more I know that what time they coming and how they traveling to Villa d'Este. Are they coming by car? Great. You have a car park which is for free and complimentary valet parking service, then it's great to know. So if you need a little personal advice as well, what do they do? What should I tell them, Natalia? It's their first timers in Italy and they coming to Como. Why don't they go to Rome for the first time? I can tell you what they should do as the first timers, So we can work with you on that, that's for sure. And stay tuned about all the updates because like I always say, Lake is evolving. Lake is changing. There is a lot of new restaurants. There is a lot of old establishments that you maybe have been booking back in the days, like restaurants and, places. They're not necessarily the places we would, actively recommend, just so you know, because we know when the chef is changing, when the management of a restaurant is changing, what's touristic and commercial. So if you have clients who are a little bit more sophisticated, clients, they're very happy to go to these places, they just want to go, they want to have a little George Clooney experience, and we can make it happen. We can make it more George Clooney touristic, and we can make it George Clooney very fine. So, you tell us, and, we plan accordingly.
I love it. Thank you, Natalia. So happy to see you. And
Thank
everyone
you
out
so
there,
much.
thank you again for joining.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye.